The storm came without warning, an ion surge rolling across the desert plains of Karthus 4, turning turquoise skies into violent sheets of electrical fire. Most people had already taken shelter inside the underground domes, but Riven Holt wasn't most people. He was a salvager, a drifter, a man who navigated the wastelands in a rusted crawler looking for forgotten tech. Storms were dangerous, yes, but they also unearthed things the sand had buried for centuries. He had just anchored his crawler on the side of a sandstone ridge when he saw her. A lone figure, staggering through the shimmering haze. Her robes were torn, her steps uneven, leaving a faint glowing trail in the dust. At first, Riven thought she might be a malfunctioning hollow. This part of the planet was dotted with strange optical illusions the storms triggered. But then she collapsed. "Damn it," he muttered. Against his better judgment, Riven sprinted out into the open, the sand cracking with electric charge beneath his boots. He reached her just as a fork of blue lightning scorched the ground meters away. She was unconscious, her skin warm, not with fever, but with a strange metallic luminescence, as if light pulsed under her pores. She wasn't local. That much was clear. Riven slung her over his shoulder and carried her back to his crawler. As he sealed the hatch, the ion storm hit with a thunderous boom, rattling the walls and bathing the windshield in crackling blue veins of energy. When the storm passed 2 hours later, the woman finally stirred. Her eyes fluttered open, gold irises shimmering like twin suns. She looked around the cramped cabin, at Riven's scratched-up face, at the piles of salvaged tech, at the malfunctioning oscillators dangling from the ceiling. "Where am I?" she asked weakly. "Inside my crawler," Riven replied. "You were about to be fried outside. You're welcome, by the way." Her gaze fixed on him, studying him with an intensity that made him uncomfortable. "You saved me." "Yeah. Anyone would've." "No," she said softly. "Most would not." There was something odd about her. Something precise in her movements. Something regal in the way she held herself even while injured. But Riven didn't ask questions. Years of surviving in wastelands had taught him that curiosity could kill faster than an ion bolt. He handed her a flask of water. "So what's your name?" She hesitated as if calculating. "Lyra. Just Lyra. No surname. No origin. No explanation." Riven shrugged. "All right, Lyra. First rule out here. Keep your head low and avoid drawing attention. Second rule, don't trust the sand. It hides more nightmares than the night sky." A faint smile tugged at her lips. "You speak as if the stars hold fewer dangers." "Stars I understand," Riven replied. "People not so much." They traveled across the desert for 2 days. Riven planned to drop Lyra off at the next settlement, Garin Station, where she could catch a shuttle off-world or at least find safety. But wherever they went, Lyra drew stares. Not because she looked strange, although she did, but because people seemed to recognize her. They bowed subtly, whispered to each other, avoided meeting her eyes directly. Riven brushed it off at first. Maybe she was from some aristocratic family. The galaxy was full of nobles with more titles than common sense. But by the 4th settlement, the pattern became impossible to ignore. A merchant practically fell over himself offering her goods for free. A station guard froze mid-sentence when he saw her face and saluted with trembling hands. A group of children knelt before her instinctively before scrambling away in fright. Riven pulled her aside behind a supply depot. "Okay. Enough. Who are you really? Don't give me the Lyra routine. People act like you're some kind of holy figure." Lyra sighed. "I wished to avoid complications." "Well, you failed. So talk." She took a deep breath. My true name is Lyra Asterion Solaris, Empress of the Helios Dominion, ruler of 1,000,000 star systems. Riven blinked, then laughed. Right. And I'm the lost prince of the asteroid belt. Come on. Her expression remained unchanged. I escaped an assassination attempt. My royal guard was betrayed. My shuttle was shot down over this planet. I survived because I am augmented. She held out her hand. A pulse of golden energy flickered across her palm, humming with power unlike anything Riven had seen. His smile faded. You're serious? Very. He ran a hand through his hair. Great. I rescued the most important person in the quadrant. And now every bounty hunter in the spiral arm is probably looking for you. Not just bounty hunters, Lyra said. My usurper, Draxon Vor, has dispatched elite sentinel squads to track me down. If he eliminates me, the Dominion falls fully under his control. So what do we do? Riven asked. Lyra stepped closer. We run. Now. Until I can reach my loyal fleets. But they didn't have a chance to run. The ground trembled as a shadow blotted out the sun. A dropship descended, black, angular, and silent, marked with the sigil of a broken sun, the symbol of Draxon Vor. Sentinel troops poured from the ramp, towering armored soldiers whose faces were hidden behind obsidian masks. Empress Lyra Asterion, a metallic voice boomed. By order of Regent Vor, you are to be terminated. Lyra's hand glowed. Riven. Run. Not happening. He grabbed his pulse rifle, an old, unreliable thing, but it was the only weapon he had. They sprinted through the narrow alleys of the settlement as plasma bolts scorched walls behind them. The sentinels moved with terrifying efficiency. Lyra blasted them back with arcs of golden energy. Riven covered her as best he could, firing wildly. But there were too many. At the ridge outside town, surrounded and outnumbered, Lyra turned to him. I should never have let you risk your life for me. Riven smirked. Too late for regrets. She stepped forward, raising her hands. A radiant sphere of energy formed, bright enough to cast stark shadows on the sand. This will drain me, she whispered. When it ends, run. The explosion was silent, a brilliant wave of gold light that enveloped everything. Sentinels were flung through the air like rag dolls, their armor cracking, their weapons melting. When the glow faded, Lyra collapsed. Riven caught her before she hit the ground. Hey, don't you dare die. I just got used to you. Her voice was barely a whisper. I am alive, just weakened. Within minutes, the sound of approaching thrusters filled the sky. A massive fleet descending, bearing the emblem of the true Dominion. Loyal ships, loyal soldiers. A general stepped out, falling to one knee. Your Majesty, we came as soon as we intercepted your distress flare. Lyra looked at Riven. He saved my life. He is to be honored. Riven raised an eyebrow. Honored how? Lyra extended her hand. By standing at my side. If you wish it. He hesitated. Drifter. A nobody from a forgotten world. How did that turn into this? But he took her hand. All right. Let's save your 1,000,000 stars. Lyra smiled, the smile of an empress. Together. And as the fleet's doors closed behind them, Riven felt something he hadn't felt in years. Purpose.